television bar for 11 seasons, has announced last call. Here's the lowdown. After 271 episodes and 26 Emmys, the longest-running comedy series now on television will call it quits in May.
It's going to take Cheers being over and me looking over my shoulder, I think, for the emotional impact to hit. And I'm sure it will.
As Cheers announces its swan song, Brooklyn Bridge is trying to span a comeback. The critically acclaimed 50s family series has been yanked from the CBS lineup, but letters are pouring in from fans who want it back.
Man, how big are you?
Well, it depends on the state of repair of my shoes. I'm about 6'1½", I think. Nearly 6'2".
Do you feel really macho? Do you feel tough? And I mean, could you ever play a comedy role, a romantic lead? Would you ever like to play that kind of a softer role?
Well, I would adore to, but then I usually look for the humor in any part I'm playing.
You always play a self-reliant person who has sort of an incipient smile on his face, like you're laughing at everybody else around you. You feel a little superior to everybody around, don't you? Do you feel that way in real life? Are you grinning at me, Connery? List the jobs you had when you were very young.
Oh, God. Well, I started delivering milk when I was 9. I left school when I was 13. And then I went to the Navy when I was 16, and I came out of the Navy when I was 19, and I went back to driving a horse and milk, and I delivered coal. I was a long-distance driver. I was a French polisher. Because I was invalided out of the Navy, I was entitled to a scholarship thing, so I went trained as a French polisher, and I worked as a lifeguard.
You polished French people? What is a French polisher?
No, you polish the wood, and I polished coffins, and then I was worked as a laborer and steel bender and fixer, and I worked in the art gallery as a model in Edinburgh in the winter. And in the summer I was a lifeguard at the pool, and that sort of thing.
It's a lot of jobs. Could not hold a job.
Well, each one in my mind was a progression, right up to the Edinburgh Evening News, when I went down to London in the Mr. Universe contest to represent Scotland.
How'd you make out?
Oh, I was nowhere. An American chap won it called Bill Pearl, who was then, but then they were in for bulk in America, and I was in for speed.
You don't have to stand up, but show me how you stood in the finals. Where were your arms? Show me a Mr. Universe pose.
There you go. No, wait a minute. Is this a camera here?
Terrific. If I had a little card, I'd hold up a 10.
What was your first paid job as an actor? Was it South Pacific?
Well, no. Actually, I did a walk-on with Anna Neagle. I was a lifeguard at the Portobello Pool in Edinburgh, which is a big outdoor pool. I used to do that in the summer and do art modeling in the winter. And I heard about these jobs in the evening, and we used to walk on and get paid dressed up as a Highlander or a spear, or, you know, whatever.
Spear carrier, sure.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Extra. And then that was the first time. The next time was South Pacific.
And you were a song and dance man in that.
Yeah.
How did you prepare yourself for that? What did you do in that show?
Well, to be fair and honest, there was a lot of others to put the blame on. You know, I mean, it was a chorus. There was others singing as well. And but
were you the one where the guy in front would say, "Bloody Mary is the girl we love," and in the back you say, "And ain't that too damn bad"? Were you the one that did that? No.
Absolutely. I used to do the handspring and all that because I was down there for the Mr. Universe contest in London, and I heard about these auditions for South Pacific, which meant 3 months at Drury Lane Theatre and then going to tour all over England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. So I thought it was a terrific idea, apart from the fact it was rather well paid. It was only a couple of hours at night. Mm-hmm. I really had no intention of being an actor, even almost till a year after I had toured with it. And then I decided to be an actor.
When we come back, Sean Connery talks about his craft, his stardom, and some of his roles along the way, including Indiana Jones's dad and Bond.
James Bond.
From a New York state of mind to a river of dreams, he's no stranger to music lovers everywhere. The career of piano man Billy Joel, on Time and Again tonight, midnight Eastern on MSNBC.
show.
Oh, we loved having you here.
Oh, we'll be back. It's a great place.
Thanks.
Have you always had this in?
Oh, we ran our own printing company.
This was always our dream for when we retired.
You should have seen it before.
It needed a lot of work, but we did it.
I don't know if we'd be able to do it.
You'd be surprised.
Martin got us investing with T. Rowe Price.
Even helped us work out what we could spend once we retired.
Maybe we ought to think about that.
I think so.
T. Rowe Price, helping people invest with confidence for over 60 years.
It's more than a cruise. It's a magic voyage filled with grown-up wishes and childhood dreams come true. On Disney Cruise Line, you can be part of a magical adventure that starts with a Walt Disney World vacation, then sails to our private island in the Bahamas. So call now and discover uncharted magic.
Hey! No, down here! Instead of running out for stamps, shouldn't you be running your business? Imagine a simpler way. Get the Personal Post postage meter from Pitney Bowes. Send mail without ever going out for stamps. Just weigh, punch in the postage, and voila! Professionally metered mail and no wasted postage. You can also add a personal message to get your mail noticed. And postage refills by phone in 30 seconds, day or night. Now listen up, because here's what you'll get. Besides a lot more time.
You'll get the postage meter and money-saving electronic scale.
So there's no wasted postage.
For a 90-day free trial.
Free is good.
You'll also get the Mail Marketer software.
Create really nifty direct mail to help your business grow.
Call now for your 90-day free trial, and you'll also get our Mail Marketer software absolutely free.
Now watch your business grow. Hey, I look good in red. The Personal Post postage meter from Pitney Bowes. Who else?
James Bond may have made Sean Connery a star, but respect as an actor only came with time, as Connery honed his craft in one film after another over a career that has spanned more than 40 years. All kinds of roles, but one constant, a Sean Connery character is a man to be reckoned with. Here's a sampling. The Great Train Robbery in 1979, a gang of thieves with Connery as the mastermind, doing his own stunts. How fast was that train going?
It was 55 miles an hour, but it was supposed to be 35, and the only reason we know it was 55 was the helicopter had tested it. So we went along to the driver of the train, and the Irish chap, and asked him what speed we were doing, and he said 35. And I said, well, this guy, says we were doing 55. He said, no, he said, what we do here, he says, we count the telegraph poles. And that's a true story.
Outland in 1981, High Noon in Outer Space, with Connery as a marshal brought in to restore order on a moon of Jupiter.
This is actually a mining town, except it's on the moon, so it could be a mining town in western Pennsylvania or in Montana, and you're the marshal. It's really a cowboy picture with computers and screens and all kinds of gadgets. Do you like that? Do you like the gadgets?
Well, in this case, I think that even somebody like myself who's not really understanding of the space styles and things can follow that one makes use of the computers to track the guys down with surveillance in a sense, in a way, and like television messages back and forward between him and his wife from the space station. And it's hardware that's part of the story without being an intrusion.
Are you going to like that world? When your children grow up, are they going to live in a world that you would want to live in, antiseptic, talking to your wife who's millions of miles away on a computer screen, spying on everybody? I mean, there's no privacy left. You just push a button and you monitor somebody else's telephone call.
That's right.
You like
The Name of the Rose in 1986. Connery as a 14th century monk trying to solve a murder. The filming in a real medieval church was less than comfortable.
Okay, it's very, very difficult working conditions, and I've got the cold myself already, running around in sandals. I should think the life expectancy for a monk then would be about 35, and I understand why. But you cannot recreate this sort of look. It takes this long. They could build these extraordinary places, 4 or 5 foot thick walls, and you still freeze your ass off.
The Untouchables in 1987, earning Connery an Oscar as a veteran Chicago cop, with Kevin Costner as Elliot Ness and Robert De Niro
as Al Capone.
I like De Niro as an actor enormously because there's often a trace with actors when they're asked to do something villainous to send little signals to the audience that they're not really like that. And he doesn't, because after all, who's kidding who? It is a performance. It is maybe reflecting life or something, but it isn't your personification, you know. So you're entitled to be as villainous as the role calls for. It's very good. I mean, considering how little he appears.
First night in 1995, Sean Connery is King Arthur in a remake of the classic story of Camelot.
Is there anything about a story that is based on legend, a well-known legend? Do you approach that any differently than you would if this was a real character? Say?
Well, no, I think that there's an area in acting anyway where you have to make the jump where you make an absolute arse of yourself, and the sooner you get to it at any part or any time of rehearsal, whether it's film or theater, and once you've gone through that, and if you're accompanying it with not being uncomfortable in king's outfits. Anyway, I get into the wardrobe very early in terms of boots, shoes I start with, and get comfortable. And I have never had a problem playing in period costume.
From Camelot to the present day and Playing by Heart in 1998, with Connery as a loving husband who made some mistakes that almost get the best of him.
How do you bring a 40-year marriage to life? How do you convey that kind of intimacy and comfort and whatever baggage these two people have immediately on screen?
Well, one was very fortunate in having Jenna Rollins, because she's, you know, a marvelous actress, and she was already in place before I came. And we blocked and rehearsed in the house, and then we shot almost in continuity, direct, and we worked it all out, the kind of dance and drama of a couple that would have that. I don't think I've been married 40 years yet, but I know something about the longevity of a marriage. And so there's a dance in it, you know.
Sean Connery in 1999. One of his most memorable roles ever came 10 years earlier as Indiana Jones's father. We'll be back with that when Time and Again continues.
Wade ashore with the real heroes of D-Day. Hear the historic speeches of JFK and hang out with an American icon on MSNBC's website at timeandagain.msnbc.com.
There's big news in the shipping business. Now there's a shipper that confirms your packages were received. A shipper that uses digital scanners, lets you check on delivery by phone or internet, and can save you up to 65% over 2-day services. Which one is it?
The U.S. Postal Service.
Introducing delivery confirmation for priority mail. So, now what's your priority?
Like an eagle.
Fortunately, there's Nasonex nasal spray, an effective nasal allergy prescription medicine taken once a day to relieve nasal allergy symptoms, indoors and out. Now that's wonderful. The most common side effects were headache, viral infection, sore throat, nosebleeds, and coughing.
Son?
Yeah, Dad?
Your mom and I want to retire, but, you know, we never saved any money. That's where you come in.
Huh?
What grade are you in now? Second? Third?
Third.
That's plenty of school. It's time you got a job.
But I can't multiply yet.
Well, I wouldn't let that slip out in an interview. Besides, you can read, right? Well, read this. The classifieds. Go get them, Tiger.
Don't be caught unprepared. Ask your financial advisor about the funds of Alliance Capital, the investment professional's choice. Do it now, because later is sooner than you think.
That is one cute accountant suit.
Quit it. Here's your taxes. What amazed me was your phone bills are so low.
Mr. Numbers hasn't heard of 10-10-3-2-1? You save 50% on calls over 10 minutes.
50%? Maybe you should be the financial advisor.
Nah, then I'd have to wear that suit.
Now, lower your score, drive longer, hit straighter with Golf Digest. Call now for your risk-free trial issue. If you like it, get 11 more, 12 in all for $19.97. Plus this stroke-saving video free. Call 800-391-0707.
In the early 80s, Harrison Ford did something Sean Connery had done in the early 60s. He brought a classic action hero to life on the big screen. For Connery, it was James Bond. For Ford, it was Indiana Jones. In 1989, the two actors teamed up for the third Indiana Jones movie, The Last Crusade. Here's NBC's Jim Brown.
Our situation has not improved.
Dad! Junior! The choice of Sean Connery to play Indiana Jones' father in the latest adventure of the popular movie character is about as perfect a piece of casting as can be. Like Connery's Oscar-winning portrayal of a seasoned street cop in The Untouchables, Indy's father is also a perfect blending of actor and role. Connery was director Steven Spielberg's first choice to play Indy's father, although Connery's initial look at the script was less than enthusiastic. I was rather disappointed. Anyway, when I voiced my reservations about it, Steven was, I think, a bit surprised. My reservations at the beginning were mainly to get a clearer picture of where we're going with this character and this father figure. I liked the idea of him being more like Sir Richard Burton, the explorer, that type, much more active and an academic to begin, and then becoming, then you realize what the genes were that produced this Indiana Jones. And so you get the mixture of the action man with the academic. Harrison Ford and director Steven Spielberg have known each other for years in the so-called Hollywood film community, and Last Crusade is their third outing as star and director. But it is Sean Connery's first movie with either man. In fact, he only met the pair just before shooting began. Nevertheless, the chemistry between Ford and Connery is there, and Spielberg took advantage of it.
When we get to Alexandretta, we will face 3 challenges. First, the breath of God. Only the penitent man will pass. Second, the word of God. Only in the footsteps of God will he proceed. Third, the path of God. Only in the leap from the lion's head will he prove his worth.
What does that mean?
I don't know. We'll find out.
We're turning around. Taking us back to Germany. I enjoyed working with Sean enormously. He's quick and facile, and he has all the experience and the wit to keep up. I mean, it's really, this is something Steven and I have done 3 times now, and he just plugged in and went. It was great to work with him.
The greatest pleasure is when a film, the whole team is working, and then what you're all trying to do works.
Sean Connery, Steven Spielberg, and Harrison Ford, some team. Still to come, Connery reinvests in the bond market after saying never again. And from Russia with Love, the former Cold War super spy does some filming in Red Square in a moment.
The White House Forum on Youth Violence may be another Democratic talk fest. But if the president doesn't take the lead on this crucial issue, who will?
Monday at 8 on MSNBC.
Life in the outback isn't all fun and games. After all, sometimes we have to eat.
Outback Steakhouse, no rules, just right.
Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
One love. Jamaica touch you. Oh, now let's get together and feel alright. Say now come to Jamaica.
Call your travel agent or 1-800-JAMAICA.
Good afternoon, Heaven.
Yeah, I'm being investigated for tax fraud.
Oh, I'll put you right through, Senator. Heaven.
I need 5,000 brochures printed by Monday.
I'm sorry. We can't help you there.
Need a printing miracle? Call Alpha Graphics.
At LensCrafters, great-looking prescription sunglasses don't have to cost a fortune. LensCrafters can make hundreds of the latest styles with your prescription for only $99, and we'll have them ready in about an hour. Prescription sunglasses, only $99. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Sean Connery, good morning. I don't recognize you. Where is your beard? Where's your mustache? What has happened to your face?
Well, I thought you had enough for both of us.
That was not planned. You're right. When is the last time you were clean shaven like this?
About 9 years ago. The diamonds are forever.
Sean Connery with Gene Shalit in 1979. A few years later, the subject of hair, or the lack of it, came up again.
A girl asked me to ask you why you don't wear a hairpiece. Is it a very strong feeling of self-confidence that you can maintain your public image as this sexy, terrific guy and not worry about hair?
Well, it would be untrue to say that I didn't worry, or, well, I don't worry now. I mean, it's beyond that. But I mean, when one was younger and it was disappearing rapidly, I can't say it thrilled me.
That it was disappearing?
And rapidly, but after a certain time, I mean, what are you going to do about it? You make a choice. You either have a transplant, which I don't really want, or would, it's a choice again, you know, or wear a wig. And there's nothing wrong with wearing wigs, hairpieces, or whatever. I mean, I use them in films when I think that it's right for what I'm doing.
In your last movie, Wrong is Right, there's a very funny scene at the end. I'm not giving anything away. You take your hair off and throw it.
Yeah.
And say, there it is. Here I am, Sean Connery.
Well, the reason was that you know, there's a satire in the film, and we wanted to find a place where one could show that, and consequently, originally, when I had the hairpiece made, I had it made just looking a bit too boyish, so that people would subconsciously be a bit bothered by it, I think.
Because they noticed that it was a hairpiece.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Sean Connery in 1982. That was 20 years after he first appeared as James Bond, and he was about to learn why one should never say never again. That and more in a moment.
Satellite is showing some of that cloudiness across the northern plains associated with one system. Meanwhile, some low clouds still hanging on across the northeast. Tomorrow's weather map, we're going to see wet weather expand eastward into Minnesota, Iowa, and even in portions of Missouri as well. Looks like dry weather in the Ohio Valley. Tomorrow's temperatures comfortable in the Ohio Valley, hot in the southwest, pleasant elsewhere in the west.
MSNBC News, when you really want to know.
Will last-minute efforts to keep American ground troops out of Kosovo succeed? The latest on the conflict in Yugoslavia on The News with Brian Williams, Monday at 9 on MSNBC.
Are you concerned about losing more hair? Do you wonder how much further it will go? Do you wish you could do something about it? Well, there's a pill for men with certain types of hair loss. It's called Propecia. In clinical studies, the vast majority of men, 83%, maintain their current hair count, and most, 66%, regrew some hair. Take it daily and you could see results in as little as 3 months. Propecia is for men only. A small
First, there was Chevy Suburban. Then came Lincoln, Lexus, Mercedes, and the others. And in the end, the one that started it all is still the one that tows the most, holds the most, and does the most. Chevy Suburban, like a rock.
Well, forgive me. I thought I was invited up here to admire the view.
I'm
always kind of surprised. I don't look at them that much, but when people come to the house, or the grandchildren who are French, actually, they watch them and they know all the jokes and the lines and things, and I'm sometimes wandering by and I look at a bit of them, and I'm always surprised that they stand up rather well, that they're not dated.
Sean Connery looking back on his James Bond films in 1994, 32 years after first starring as 007. Welcome back to Time and Again as we spend some time with Sean Connery. Just about everyone agrees his James Bond was definitive, though there have been others in the role over the years. The latest is, of course, Pierce Brosnan. Connery's version came closest to the character Ian Fleming invented in the early 50s, the ruthless loner with a license to kill. Connery did add some humor. NBC's Jim Brown took stock of Bond in 1981.
Neuf à la banque.
I need another 1,000.
I admire your courage, Miss...
Trench. Sylvia Trench. I admire your luck, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
And with that introduction nearly 20 years ago in the film Dr. No, one of the screen's most lasting characters was introduced in the person of actor Sean Connery. Over the years, Connery in 6 Bond films, George Lazenby in 1, and Roger Moore in 5 Bond adventures have faced all kinds of odds and all kinds of villains. This successful series has made a lot of people wealthy. Author Ian Fleming only lived to see 2 films completed, but his estate continues to benefit. Connery and Moore did all right, and certainly Albert Cubby Broccoli, who with his partner Harry Saltzman co-produced 8 of the Bond films, and then Broccoli on his own producing the last 3. Broccoli recalled for me that first filming of James Bond on location for Dr. No.
Actually, when we saw it in the projection room, we knew we had a good film. Someone started a rumor that all the dialogue was meant to be serious, and it turned out funny, you know. That wasn't true. I mean, for instance, in Dr. No, when Sean Connery sees the hearse going over the hill and down, and it blows up, and there's a chap standing by, and he says to Sean, "What happened?"
I think they were on their way to a funeral.
And that was actually Sean's line. It was the one line he wrote in the whole script.
I must ask just briefly, are you going to make another James Bond movie?
I can't answer that because of the legalities that are involved, but I'm going to find out, and I will make a personal announcement with you when I do.
That's a promise? If you ever settle your litigation with James Bond, you raise your right hand, Sean Connery will be on a Today Show and tell us how it comes out. A deal.
Done.
Sean Connery, for many years you were in bondage. Now you are not Bond. You are not Bond anymore. Which of the James Bond pictures did you like best? If somebody who never saw any of them could only see one, what one would you tell them to go see?
Well, my personal choice is From Russia with Love.
What appealed to you about that?
Well, I like the story line in it, and I didn't feel there was a great intrusion of the hardware of what we were talking about, you know, gimmicks and effects.
You have done so many different kinds of movies, and yet people often think of you as Bond. Do you resent that? Do you wish they wouldn't think of you as James Bond?
No, because, excuse me, it was a turning point in my...
in your throat?
In my throat, in my career. It's like there's 2 different stages. You know, I had many years ago when I was in England, there was a wonderful American writer, Rod Serling, who wrote Requiem for a Heavyweight, and Jack Palance was to do it, and I don't remember what happened. He was sick or something, and I ended up doing it, and it was very, very successful.
That was a turning point for you. That was a big television success in England.
Mm-hmm. Oh, enormous. And then I had to decide what I was going to do because I had so many offers, which was most unusual. One is always too something, you know, too big, too Scottish, too bold, too whatever. And then the next one, of course, was the Bond films in terms of international acceptance, you know, commerciality, and all the factors are really awfully important today.
Connery came back for one more Bond in Diamonds Are Forever. But when Live and Let Die was released in 1973, a new Bond was introduced, Roger Moore. And in a succession of films, The Man with the Golden Gun, The Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, and now For Your Eyes Only, kept 007 going strong.
We haven't mentioned James Bond, and I want to mention James Bond in one respect. Roger Moore has become James Bond since you decided you had had enough of it. How is his approach to the character different from your approach to the character?
I think Roger goes a much lighter route than I did in terms of the reality of it, and goes more for the humor. And I went, I think, more for credibility and reality, and utilized the humor from the situation. I once said that if I did another James Bond, I would do the show with you first to make the announcement.
You're going to make the announcement now?
No, when I do it.
You're not going to do it?
When I make the announcement.
Are you going to make the announcement?
Did you see Wrong is Right?
It's a very good movie.
Yeah.
The Bond movie, I mean.
Which one?
To Russia with Love. What's your favorite Bond movie?
From Russia with Love.
You once said that the next time you made a James Bond movie, you would make the announcement for the first time on the Today program.
That's right, I told you that.
Are you ready to make that announcement this morning?
No. When I am ready, as I told you I will, I'll come here and do it with you.
Seriously, do you think you might ever make another James Bond movie?
If they gave me a really good script now, because the deal I've already arranged before and wouldn't change from.
You mean you already have a contract for your next Bond movie?
I had one before, and then we got into the hassles with the lawyers and everything, and I said, okay, take care of that, that's not mine. You come with a script, and I'll go on, the green light goes on the script.
So if Broccoli comes to you with a good script, Sean Connery is willing to make another James Bond movie?
Yeah, I don't think Broccoli would pay me.
How much you want?
I would never tell.
You're going to tell him?
I don't think he would even listen to what I'm talking about.
More than $100?
Yeah.
You're not going to tell him how much money you want to make a James Bond movie?
Yeah, I would have to, I'm obliged. No, I wouldn't tell. I'd get my lawyer to tell him.
You'd be ashamed to tell him, huh?
No, not after what
Is it that much?
It's enough.
When we come back, the deal gets done, and Connery returns as Bond in Never Say Never Again in a moment.
Tuesday starts with Friends and Frasier. First, guess who has a crush on
Joey.
Then a Tuesday Frasier with Woody.
My cousin's getting married. Which is your cousin, the bride or the groom? Well, actually, both are.
Then the Just Shoot Me personal trainer from hell.
I'll never give up on you. Never. Well, let's just...
And Third Rock goes talk show crazy.
Shut your mouth. Why don't you make me?
NBC Tuesday starts with Friends and Frasier.
A thought for those of you married to your job. Every once in a while, have a fling with your wife. Royal Caribbean, like no vacation on earth.
She's managing her time right down to the dime with Sprint. Because now it's just a dime a minute on calling card calls, on calls to your Sprint 800 number, and all calls from home. Call 1-877-5-CONTACT and switch to Sprint. You can't control everything, but you can make the most of your time. Isn't that the point of contact? Switch now for a dime every time. Call toll-free 1-877-5-CONTACT.
You lost the address?
Relax, honey.
Listen, can the testosterone and let's call for direction.
The house has a new metal roof. It'll stick out like...
Yeah, like your butt in a bathing suit. That's it. Oh, that was it.
That was a metal roof.
Take a look at the new metal roofing. Call 1-888-METAL-ROOF for a free video.
That's a metal roof?
At ERA, we believe real estate isn't just about property. It's about people, understanding their needs, doing whatever it takes. It's helping the Perez family get a mortgage for their first home, then finding their movers, home warranty, even their home security system. It's giving the Simpsons an online profile of neighborhoods and school systems and helping them make sense of it all. Every time we help someone buy or sell a home, we help write a new chapter in their lives. ERA Real Estate.
In 1962, Sean Connery became James Bond, starring in Dr. No when he was 32. 9 years later, after 6 Bond films, Connery said, "Never again." Other actors, including Roger Moore, inherited the part, but never doesn't always mean never. And in 1983, fans of 007 were seeing double.
This is Roger Moore at work at Pinewood Studios near London in the latest James Bond movie adventure titled Octopussy, the 6th film in which Moore has put on 007's white tux since Sean Connery quit the role over a decade ago. But at this very moment, about 30 miles north of London, another movie company is making a James Bond film with another actor. Does Moore know there are 2 007s at work?
Are there? Well,
would you like me to tell you about the other one?
Yeah, well, is there really another one?
Yes, yes, there's a chap trying to get started up there.
First I'd heard about that. That's amazing.
Well, it's not only amazing, it's amusing. Because the competition is none other than Sean Connery returning as James Bond in Never Say Never Again. It was 20 years ago in Dr. No that moviegoers got their first look at the young Scotsman as 007, and who in 6 more films over the next decade was to become for many the James Bond.
Are you amused by the fact that at this point you and Roger are shooting Bond films simultaneously?
Yeah, I bumped into him actually. He was staying in the Arlington House here in London with where our director is Kirshner and the producer then was, and I was working with the director on the script, and one morning I came and bumped into Roger in the street, and we talked, and it was just, he'd just started, and the conversation was very brief, and he was with his son, and he said, "Where are you guys?" I said, "I'm just going off to location." And I remember it was somewhere, some dreadful town just on the outskirts of London. And he said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "The south of France." I said, "Very nice." He said, "And then where are you going?" And I said, "I'm going to Nassau, the Bahamas." He said, "Oh, yes." I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "India." And then I said, "Oh, well, that's nice. Well, I'll see you back in London, I suppose."
Are you surprised to find yourself back here, meaning playing James Bond?
Yes, I am in some ways. I mean, having said, you know, never again, as it were. When I was approached by Kevin McClory, he had the rights after 10 years to remake the Thunderball. It was then that all the lawyers came out of the woodwork, and the legal ramifications became far too complex, and I've had enough of these over the last few years, that I chose not to proceed. And out of the blue, Jack Schwartzman approached me with a view to doing this one. And I said, well, 2 conditions. One is that it is totally clean and I have no more dealings with lawyers, as it were, although he happens to be a lawyer. And I have total indemnification from yourself. And he provided both of these clauses, and here we are, sitting in beautiful fire and Christmas card weather outside here in London.
But James Bond and Sean Connery are not the James Bond and Sean Connery of 10 years ago, 10 plus years ago.
Yeah, that's for sure. But he might be a bit smarter. I'd like to think I am.
You have had to put the hairpiece back on for this film. It's not something you enjoy, I know.
No, but it's only during the working day, and which has gone into the night too frequently, I'm afraid. But well, I've stuck it on for a few other pictures too, actually.
Is this the last James Bond you're going to do? I think it's been asked before.
Yeah, I would say almost certainly, yeah.
Sean Connery in 1983 after 7 James Bond films in 22 years. End of story? Hardly. Here he is with NBC's Jamie Gangel 10 years later.
There is a rumor that you may do another James Bond movie.
Well, I was just told that today. I never heard anything about it.
Interested?
What, to play what?
Would you do
Timothy
it?
Dalton's father?
You could do James Bond still.
No.
Come on. Why not?
I've been involved with it for 31 years. It's a long time. How old are you?
I'm not telling you.
Well, then I can give you a yardstick.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Well, you know what I mean.
Right. So enough with James Bond. No James Bond. Never, ever, 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 ever.
No, I don't think so. No.
Sean Connery isn't the only ladies' man tearing up the big screen. Harrison Ford brings his own brand of action to Time and Again, coming up next on MSNBC. Youth violence. Some politicians blame Hollywood. Others blame parents. Are lawmakers concerned with children's safety or their own agendas? Hockenberry, Monday, 10 Eastern on MSNBC.
Michael, I say Michael, would you like to hear a bird call?
Sure, Foghorn.
With MCI, a bird can call for just 5 cents a minute every Sunday and 10 cents a minute all week long. Now that, my friend, is a beautiful bird call.
The bird thinks he's a comedian.
Now stop stealing my material.
Call 1-800-Sundays to sign up.
Don't get me riled.
I became interested in working in the brokerage industry when I was very young. I went to Harvard. I majored in economics. We had a last trade at 59 and 7/16. That was down 4 and 3/16 on the day. Throughout my life, I've had to work hard and had to focus to get where I am, and I'm going to bring that ethic to my job here at Schwab. Charles Schwab, Adam, 122998. Anytime you have a company that's been as successful as Schwab, obviously the employees are driving that, and I hope that I benefit Schwab in their growth and in their success, and I will.
To accomplish everything you need to do on the ground, often you have to spend time in the sky. Fortunately, what you do both places can help you get where you really want to go. Just get the Delta Sky Miles credit card from American Express. And for a limited time, there's even a special bonus. Twice as many Sky Miles, 10,000, just for getting the card.
You can apply now, right over the phone. Just call 1-800-SKY-MILE.
With the Delta Sky Miles credit card, every dollar you spend gets you a Delta Sky.
Once they roamed the seas and explored the skies, but today they're on the net. They are pioneers discovering a new world of internet applications, and that's where Verio comes in. For we are the pioneers of the internet, and now Verio brings you North Point DSL, dedicated high-performance internet access starting at $123 a month. Verio, the new world of business.
As James Bond, Sean Connery played a Cold Warrior doing battle with the Soviet menace. You weren't likely to find him walking around Red Square in broad daylight. But times change, and in 1989, Connery was making a movie there.
The movie version of John le Carré's novel, The Russia House, is not the first time a Western film crew has been here. Arnold Schwarzenegger strolled these streets briefly in Red Heat, and Dallas shot some sequences here. But The Russia House is a production of its times, with a British, American, and Russian film crew, and an Australian director, Fred Skepsey.
Время начала. Во сколько будем съемки? Конкретно что?
Do you know the precise time when we'll begin shooting?
Sean out of bed yet?
The Sean Skepsey refers to is Sean Connery, who worked here 2 decades ago on a movie called The Red Tent, but is best known as the movie's ultimate Cold War secret agent, 007, James Bond.
I was only arrested here 3 years ago. He said I was photographing a military subject. That's right. Yeah? Yeah. I was photographing a military subject. Can I put my coat on?
Yes, sir. Connery's co-star on The Russia House is the fast-rising Michelle Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer plays the role of a Russian woman who passes secrets to Connery, who is seen as a London publisher reluctantly drafted into a spy world. The story is simpler, more optimistic, and more romantic than earlier Le Carré spy novels. And it is a far cry from the fantasy secret agent James Bond that Connery used to play.
Is it here?
What?
The decoding machine, Lecter.
Must we talk about it now?
Or is it at the Russian consulate?
The old enemy, you know, it's very well defined. Yes, it was Smash, KGB, whoever else. It was them and us, you know. This is much more complex and also much more kind of interesting and more relative to today. Incidentally, I hear that Gorbachev is supposed to come by at 9:45.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he must be late.
Well,
I presumed he would come by somehow. I would imagine that if he was coming around, he would get out of his car to see filming in Red Square. It's kind of unique, no?
Gorbachev never did show up, but Connery got his revenge. In his next movie, he played a Russian submarine captain who defects in The Hunt for Red October.
I'm removing the political officer's missile key. Carry on. And I'm keeping it myself.
In command of the movie's Red October is an actor at the peak of his box office popularity, Sean Connery. And Connery had direct exposure to Glasnost when he went from Red October to the Soviet Union itself to film John le Carré's novel Russia House. While Hunt does state clearly the movie is set in pre-Glasnost 1984, I asked Connery about the political winds of change and if audiences will care about a $30 million Cold War movie.
In one way, it favors the issue on Red October because it does give an opportunity to show, which is already there, I think, in the book, quite a bit of the humanist characters or characteristics of the Russian. I think there was a moment or two when it could have been influenced greatly by Gorbachev being replaced. Then I think the situation would have become less clear and could have been more, could have affected the film more. As it is now, I think it's easier for the people to understand who see the film what the Russians are about as well as what the Americans are about. We each have our reasons, Victor. My own began the day I was handed the blueprints for this ship. A ship which had but one use. And as for the rest, well, those are things that I alone must carry the burden for.
Politics aside, The Hunt for Red October was a difficult movie for the actors because so much was dictated by working around Navy ships and schedules, and the coordination of actors' movements and dialogue on sets like the gimbal-mounted conning tower of the Red October. Connery, who does not suffer fools easily, said initially he found coordination on the giant gimbal set lacking in focus, and he decided to do something about it.
It was very difficult because there was 62 people in the con, 80%, 90% were Russian. I would think 80% of them didn't speak English. We had, as you say, the gimbal, which was an 82-ton set, rocketing, going 45 degrees forward, backward, sideways, whichever way you wanted. The lighting cameraman was in the set because it was a very realistic set, as you know, and everything that moved would change the lights, all the feed-ins, and there was also smoke being poured in, so it had to be contained, you know, to give it that atmosphere. And everybody had so many things to do that the focus was lost for the actors. So I had a meeting, called a meeting with Mace and the producer and John McTiernan and assistant thing, and we sat down. I said, look, you've got to have a strategy with this, which is this established principle that you don't go until it's all prepared. And then when we're ready, it's absolute silence for a beat. So everybody gets prepared, especially the actors. And then we go. And then we got it. It was okay.
Sean Connery in command on and off the screen. But is he the sexiest man alive? That question in a moment.
Sean Connery isn't the only ladies' man tearing up the big screen. Harrison Ford brings his own brand of action to Time and Again, coming up next on MSNBC.
From a New York state of mind to a river of dreams, he's no stranger to music lovers everywhere. The career of piano man Billy Joel, on Time and Again tonight, midnight Eastern on MSNBC.
Available on home video for the first time ever, Frank Sinatra's Concert for the Americas. This special 90-minute concert features Frank performing hits such as The Lady is a Tramp.
She gets too hungry for dinner at 8.
This collection is destined to become a classic.
I've got you under my skin.
It's Sinatra at his finest.
Best is yet to come.
This is a must for all collectors.
Send in the clown.
Call now and receive the special companion video as a bonus. Portrait of an Album takes you behind the scenes and into the recording studio with Frank and an all-star cast.
For a limited time only, Sinatra's Concert for the Americas and Portrait of an Album are available for just $34.95. For Visa, MasterCard, or American Express, call 1-800-760-7979 or send check or money order today.
Thank you very much.
Stop assuming that just because you're hugging one of these, you can't have a car that was made for hugging these. Alero, with the road-hugging active response system. Start feeling connected. Alero by Oldsmobile. Start something.
Genius? Yeah, right, if they only knew. Chaos. So many stores, so fast. Stores aren't connected. Nobody's connected. Inventory's a mess. And my suppliers are totally in the dark. Help. The AT&T people said that they'd get everyone connected in real time. That'll fix it. Maybe going public isn't so crazy.
AT&T Net.Working to make your business succeed.
They say Sean Connery is the kind of man women want to be with and men want to be like. Does that make him the sexiest man alive? People magazine thought so in 1989 when Connery was 59 and playing Indiana Jones's dad. 6 years later, Matt Lauer asked him about it on Today.
You have poo-pooed in the past the, if you will, the People magazine sexiest man alive. But you continue to excel at roles, whereas there is this great sense of virility that isn't normally associated in this culture with gentlemen who are in their mid-60s. Why do you think you're still seen in that light?
I don't know. Well, I suppose I'll know I don't have it when they stop giving me scripts. Eh? But I'm not sure I agree with you saying that men in their mid-60s in this culture in the United States are not considered virility material.
What are your passions today?
Well, still making movies, golf. I've gone back a bit to reading again. I sort of gone off it for a bit.
You said one time that you believe people's faces express the lives they've led. If I didn't know you were Sean Connery and an actor, and I met you for the first time, what do you think your face would tell me about your life?
Well, I'm not the one to ask because I'm not seeing it or dealing with it. And it's the same as you're saying, what would I think? You should be able to tell me, but I wouldn't be able to tell you.
I'll tell you. Great actor, nice guy, pretty good golfer.
Oh, well, I'll get that in my obituary.
Good call, Matt. Speaking of golf, that's one more thing Connery can thank James Bond for. He first took up the game back in 1964 while filming Goldfinger.
Strict rules of golf? But of course.
That's Time and Again for now. I'm Katie Couric in for Jane Pauley. Thanks for joining us.
Bond.
James Bond.
Life insurance policy New York Life has ever written. Strength is the steel this company was built around. It's what makes New York life the company you keep.
Overnight priority deferrin. What's deferrin?
Joe, could you come out here, please? This is Walker Racing and Honda powered driver Gilles DeFerrin. He costs a little more, but he's worth it.
Let's go with deferrin.
No problem.